And how long have you worked on ships in total?
In total, 35 years.
Be sure to hit that like button, everyone. And if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe to my channel and also enable those notifications.
So have you seen like a difference in like are ports constantly changing? Like I don't know if you've been to a port like 34 years ago and then you went back like day before yesterday or something. But like, do you notice how like that the ports are changing, or are they kind of the same? Or?
Well, you probably heard this before, but you know, the ports are the same. Ships are getting bigger, I have to say. It makes it more interesting for us and challenging sometimes to take a ship this size and in a port where perhaps it's very tight. We're very lucky because we have a high technology. We can do it safely. But obviously, there are times where we cannot do it. And there are a couple of elements that they play an important card there. And one of them is for us, for a ship this size, you know, depends how strong the wind is. So, in other words, any port can be very challenging for the captain and his team when it comes to ship handling if the wind is blowing quite a lot. So, a ship this size, for example, when we have a wind on the beam about 25, 27 knots, you know, we reach our limit. This is when we need to have tugs in assistance. Yes.
How much is 27 knots of wind in like American land?
Well, I'll give you some numbers. If you wanted to convert the knot into shore miles, you have to multiply the value for 1.15. It takes a little bit of time for him to do the calculation.
Sure.
Do you need the help? Do you need the help?
Yeah, you take off your shoes. I need toes.
Should be in the range of 30 miles per hour.
Okay, so 30 miles. That's when we're like, all right, we don't have to. So do we just like crank it up more? Like, is this team like pumping harder, or like how can we like help with the wind? Is there like stuff that we can use to help the ship go where we need to go?
We use the side thrusters or the propellers, side propellers, like the staff engineer was saying. Obviously, you know, when we get to that limit, then we needed to have tugs as well to assist us.
You said tugs, like tugboats?
Tugboats, normally, generally speaking, we in a situation, depending on the, you know, on the space that is available, depending on how shallow is the water, we need to make faster tugs. Most of the time, it's good practice to have tugs fast and having them pulling. This is when we get the best performance out of the tug. Sometimes it's not possible, so we need to have them pushing instead of pulling. And then also it depends on the technology that the tug use. The highest technology, let's say the most efficient one that we have nowadays to assist cruise ships, it's AESD tugs, azimuth stern drives tugs. Those are the best ones. They turn on a dime, and you know they're quite powerful. But here in Alaska, we do have certain tugs that are very much traditional, so they can only offer minimum assistance there.
Okay, all right. So we can tug, push, we can pull. Okay, so you get us there is what you said. You get us there.
Pretty much.
Okay. Get you there. All right. So just Ebe, so you said you have power opposite of like electricity, water. How does water work on a cruise ship? Like, do we just like just pump it on? Like when we get all the provision and stuff, we just got like just gallons, we just pour it into like a tank? Or like how does water work on a cruise ship like that? How do we get water to you know showers and stuff? How does that happen?
Okay, as I said, we are pretty much 100% autosufficient. As Terry, our hotel general manager, said, we load the food every 7 days, already planned in advance, and we load our fuel oil, which is our main fluid to run our engines, and this is planned already as well. For the fresh water, we do have on board 2 different freshwater generators, which are steam, scan flash, so we use the steam or either the heat from the main engines, because it's very important to say that Energy safe, it's a must for the ship, for the vessel. So we try to use as much heat as possible instead to throw it away. Another example is like the heat coming out from the engine, from the exhaust. We do not throw it away. We use to heat up our water in order to make the steam in our boilers. So come back to the fresh water, we have these generators, which are steam, and also our RO, which is reverse osmosis. Those all together, they can supply in 1 hour, so 100 cubic meters in 1 hour of production, in terms of production of fresh water.
So where do we get the water from the ocean or from like rain, or where does it?
That's okay. We get from seawater. So the evaporators, the one with the steam, they heat up the seawater. The seawater becomes steam. Then we condensate it through a heat exchanger, and that's what becomes distillate water. So basically, you cannot drink that water. In order to drink the water, then we go through a process of a treatment, which is mineralizers, filters, UV lamps, and also some chemicals, whatever it is advised by our USPH and our internal regulation. This water goes to the tanks before to go all around the place.
Okay, so the water that like comes out of our sinks, comes out of our showers, that was seawater, and then y'all cleaned it, you made it fancy and taste good and stuff, and now then it comes out. What about other water? Like water we don't want no more. You know, like,
okay, so this fresh water, as Dual says, we always say everything that goes up from the bottom of the ship up to the highest point of the vessel, then it has to come down, and that's what we call wastewater. Okay, so we have two different streams of wastewater, if we want to say, and the technical term for that is grey water and black water. Grey water is coming from your shower, your sink, and the black water from the toilet, of course. Those waste lines are completely separated. They are not cross-connected for obvious reasons, because we need to treat in our advanced water waste system, so which is our MBRs. That's one of the most important environmental equipment we have on board in order to comply with the discharge of this water. And so the process of it's pretty much a long process, but we end up to discharge clear water from our stern ports, so we leave everything behind when the nautical miles, the environmental limits are just far away from them.
Okay, so you said so we treat all of that, and then so you said it turns into like clear water.
That's correct, and that's in your bottle. The captain, mine, this one is okay. That one. So now, as I said, the joke, that's the color that our black and grey water comes out from our discharge. Only the color, you are, nothing else.
Why you think me and Terry didn't touch the bottle?
Wondering if my water was crunchy. Moving very forward.
We will see the effect tonight.
Okay. Alessandro, I got a question for you. Listen, you down here, you're on stage talking to the people. The captain is down here on stage talking to people. If y'all both down here, who's driving the ship?
Well, at the moment we have all the bridge officers. We have 6 of them, and the bridge is always manned 24 hours a day for obvious reason. And let's say that is the safety net of the vessel, is all the safety controls for fire and any other kind of emergency. All the main emergency announcements are made from there. So we always have to, we must have somebody there. We have at any time, we have always 2 officers. We call it a junior and a senior, and 2 sailors. For one of them is always appointed for a lookout, just to help out for looking out the window, to back up what the electronic equipment is showing us. And the second one is that we use it, at the moment the ship is driven by autopilot, and so if for whatever reason we need to go in hand steering in the old fashion, so basically using the wheel, one of them becomes the helmsman. And 24, as I said, 24/7, they're doing shift of 4 hour on watch and 8 hours off.
Is it easy to steer a cruise ship? Like, do you have like a wheel? You have like one of those big pirate wheels, or you're like one of these big old things, and you're like this, and you're like turning left, and you go like, do you have one of those? Does it have a big old wheel?
I think if I'm going up there and dancing like you, it's gonna kick me out immediately. But yes, we do have a wheel, but it's not anymore the big wheel. And it's actually a very small wheel. It's like a kind of Ferrari. Just because the ship was built in Italy. And no, it's actually, well, you need a bit of practice, but it's like driving any kind of boat. It's just bigger.
Okay, just a bigger boat. Is it hard? Is it hard to drive a cruise ship? Is it hard to steer?
The steering itself, if everything works,
Sometimes they stop.
no, that's why I'm kidding. Everything is working, no, but not really. It takes. You just need to understand how she moves in the water. It's not like whenever you're parking your car that you can push the brake and think, wait a second, where do I have to steer? On here, she's moving constantly. So if you make the wrong move, you're done.
All right, okay, and so there are boats that come on. They're boats that come next to the ship. They're pilot boats. But what are the pilot boats for? Like, they just like push.
Yeah, whenever we are in local waters, we are required by law to have local pilots, which is obviously a very important person being part of the team, obviously, and him or her bring with themselves some local knowledge of the area. For example, when we are in Alaska, so we have the Southeast Alaska pilots. It's 2 of them. They join us and they stay with us the whole time. So the normally boat before we approach Ketchikan, and then disembark, after we leave Skagway during the night. Last night, I believe we disembarked the pilot at around 2 o'clock in the morning. So again, we are required to have local pilots, and it's something we really appreciate. But most importantly, we have them working together, following our procedures, bridge resource management, which is vital. Just one thing I just wanted to clarify, sometimes there's some misconception here. Although they help with the navigation of the ship, they do not handle the ship. We are the one handling the ship. Reason why is because we know our ship, we know the limitation of the ship, and why not? There is also another kind of responsibility which, I have, or any captain have when it comes to mastering the ship. So normally, myself or I'll have the staff captain doing some handling, ship handling, or some officers in order to train them. So when it comes to, them being promoted, there is not such a big barrier between what they used to do and what they're doing now with a different rank.
Gotcha. So you help other people. You have a teaching role also.
That is correct. We call it mentoring role. The captain nowadays is looked as mentor. In the old days, although I do come from the kind of generation, things have changed so much from the 80s to now. So in the old days, the officers, it's kind of sad to say though, they were not even allowed to talk to the captain. So it was like an autocratic management style. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say here. But nowadays, it's like a different management style, when everyone is trained, coached, and everyone is encouraged to speak up. And I think it's very important. We call it safety net. So if something is not really right, any one of the bridge has the right and the obligation of speaking up.
Thank you for letting me talk to you, Captain.
Not a problem.
So Terry, speaking of talking, keeping up, you talk to just about every team member on the ship. How do we get team members to work on a cruise ship? Like if one of them were like, oh, I love this, I want to do this. How do we get new team members?
So we have global talent partners located around the world. So we have these recruiters that recruit for Princess. A number of the talent partners recruit for a number of different cruise lines. So we're very specific about the type of talent that we're looking for. So we provide obviously the role descriptions of what jobs we're recruiting for, and also what type of person that we're looking for to come and work with us and to fit into the team. So those global talent partners do the recruitment process. A teammate will be offered a contract, sign the contract, and then they have other obligations that they need to take care of before they can come on and work on the ship. So they need a medical fitness certificate saying that they're fit to come and work at sea. Some countries require their seafarers to do basic sea survival courses before they're allowed to leave their country to come work at sea as well. And then they're given a contract, given a ticket, and then we see them here. So it's quite exciting to see. We always have new hire teammates joining every Seattle, and it's quite an overwhelming experience at times for them. So we make sure that they've got a buddy, they've got someone, they've got some training, and they're coached through the process. But quite often a teammate will arrive in Seattle tomorrow, they'll come on the next day, and they'll be in uniform and on the floor that afternoon.
How long are team members on the ship? How long do they stay on?
So we have differing contract lengths. So it can go anywhere from, so for the executive officers and many of the deck and technical officers, we work 3 months on, 3 months off. A lot of the other officers work 4 months on, 2 months off. And then for a lot of the crew, they work between 6 and 9 months on and 2 months vacation.
Okay, gotcha. During that vacation time, like what did they do? What kind of things happen in vacation time? You just go do whatever?
Well, John goes to Mexico. Bob, he goes to
not like
Europe.
individual, but like during that 2 months, it is a vacation. So like
it's a vacation. So it's 2 months of vacation.
So what do you do on your vacation? What do you do when you're not in charge of this huge floating hotel? Like do you go on like a cruise for vacation?
Seriously?
I have gone on a cruise, but I travel a lot. What attracts me to this industry as well is the travel and discovering new places and meeting new people, and for sure. So, for example, my last holiday, I spent 4 weeks in South Africa. Yeah. So any teammate that says, come visit and join us in your country, I will probably show up. I'm that person.
And a special shout out to all my Patreon and YouTube members. Thank you so much for your additional support. If you'd like to become a Patreon or YouTube member, I'll include the links in the description below. It's basically a behind the scenes view of cruising with JT and special access to various benefits and perks and inside information into my upcoming videos. So if you do decide to join, I truly appreciate your support. This video is sponsored by MEI Travel. Feel free to reach out to me at cruisingwithjt@gmail.com and I'll get you connected to my travel agent at MEI Travel. She'll take great care of you, and I'll also include the information in the description below. Thank you so much.